wish you a very, very speedy recovery, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Hey Richa, how are you? So just if I must tell you that Richa is going to be working with us actually, is going to use an incorrect statement on our Not Alone project.
Oh, how lovely.
Hi,
Okay.
Madhura.
Hi,
Hi, Jacintha.
Hi, Richa.
I'm so eager to listen to you. I've heard such good things about you.
Sometimes I wonder who they are speaking about.
Only you, Jacintha, only you.
Thank you, Madhura. All you guys are so kind. Yeah, we'll try.
And I think the beautiful part of Jacintha's session also is that, it actually speaks to people individually. So that's why I see a lot of LinkedIn messages and all of that, which keep coming your way, Jacintha, also. Of people who have particularly attended your sessions and, they have felt that it talked to them. So I think that's the most beautiful part. Kanak, I think over to you. Do you want to get started? You want to wait for a little bit?
Just a basic introduction, I'll just give it up over there.
Right.
Because I'm really astonished. What I'm going to speak, I have no idea about ma'am, because it's wow.
She is wow. Yes, she is wow. Okay.
So going ahead with the session, we can achieve nothing if fear is instilled within us. Fear kills ambition, dreams, and even the slight changes of progress. Fear and worry are the two enemies that are the deterrents of our well-beings. We must strive to eradicate them for our life. So to kill the fear within us, we need to learn and progress with the ongoing scenarios and the stuff we have all around in our life. So to have just a bit from the expectations that you have for the session today, just please type it up in the chat box so that ma'am could have a better idea, because I know ma'am will actually rock up the session today. Moving ahead with that, till now, AFH has been helping so many young girls and working professionals with growing up in their life and to make a better impact since 8 March 2020. Until now, we are a family of 60,000 plus members. And to help you have a better idea and have the motivation to make it even more beautiful, we'll be coming up with a small video to actually introduce you to AFH in a very better format.
Madhura ma'am, do you want to go ahead and introduce, or do you want me to show the video?
Actually, we don't need to show the video since, I'm here in person, so I'd rather talk about it myself.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Kanak. I think this is the first time that Kanak is doing a session. She is one of our newer members of our 63,000 strong community that we have. Very, very happy to welcome all of you here. Jacintha has been a very special part of this entire journey. I met her through my other good friend Neerja, who also happens to be a mentor at Aspire for Her, and I was absolutely astonished with the work that Jacintha actually does. Don't want to take away Kanak's thunder and talk about it. A lot of you already know Jacintha because you're coming here as not as newcomers, but as old fans of Jacintha who want to ensure that you go through the care series 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th one in the care series. And it has been an absolutely wonderful experience for us, Jacintha, to have you as a part of Aspire for Her, not only for these sort of sessions, but in the so many other ways that you have helped us. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks,
Aspire for Her is filled, with inspirational people like her. And I am just using her as a role model and as an example today. If any of you, want to reach out for a mentorship, just to understand what sort of path you should take, career-wise and otherwise, then we have a wonderful array of mentors who are there on our platform who will be happy to speak with you. They are interested in your professional success, whether you're getting back into the workforce, whether you're starting your journey, or whether you're in a difficult situation or in a tricky situation, somewhere in the middle of that path. So that's what they do. That's what they want to do. And that's why they're here at Aspire for Her. The other resources that we have are, of course, learning resources, business resources. We have career previews, and every week we try to bring you some career previews which talk about either a well-trodden career path or something which is less trodden. The fourth pillar that we work on is the peer community. And this community, the return to work community, is very special to us because this community was born on our birthday, almost on our birthday. And, ever since we launched Return to Work, we realized that there are so many women who are actually literally, very, very eager to get back into the workforce. And there are so many companies who are very, very eager to hire them. But somehow the twain was not meeting. And we thought that we would be the catalyst and we would be that the space in between so that we can actually connect women with the right opportunities and connect the companies with the right talent. So that's what Return to Work is all about. Many of you are part of it. I'm so happy to see Petrina, who's just joined us a few days back here. Petrina just joined us yesterday, I think. I'm very, very happy to welcome some of the new members and a lot of old familiar faces here. So that's a little bit about Aspire for Her. We try to ensure that we give you opportunities of 3E, which is employment, entrepreneurship, or education, which leads to one of these two. So that's who we are. Most of you know who we are. What we're trying to do, we're trying to get 1 million women in the workforce by 2025. And we are hoping that sessions like this, opportunities like this, will ensure that you can get into the workforce, stay there, and pave the way for many more women to follow you there. So Jacintha, once again, thank you so much for all that you do for us. Words are, not enough to describe what you do. We would just like to welcome you on the platform. Thank you for being part of Aspire.
Thanks, Madhura. It's almost embarrassing to listen to that, but that's another person. Okay, so this is me today here, and welcome to everyone who's in the audience. Today is I think a program that I have always delivered, not just because it's a program, but because it's a belief. It's an absolute belief from the core of my being that a woman is meant to be a woman who has a career, right? A career woman is not an aberration. It's not an add-on. Like you have these scooters in which you have to have that little extra thing if you have somebody, right? Very often we think of career as that something that's attached to us, not part of us. And I, through my work, through the years, have only been trying to evangelize the fact that career is who you and I are meant to be. Like we are probably daughters and mothers and spouses and cousins and sisters and siblings, we're also meant to be working women. I don't know why that is considered as some kind of a parallel track, which we sort of hop on and hop off and, stuff like that. And that's why when I come to especially return to women sessions or to very young women setting off on their career paths, this becomes an important mind shift topic for everyone to look at and see why we need to think of careers as part of our life. Like in most families, they think marriage is a milestone that's there and everyone has to pass through that milestone, etc. I think career is a milestone that everybody has to pass through. It's true for men, it's true for women, it's true for any gender. Why do I say that is what I'd like to talk about today. And that's why today's session is called Career Endurance 101. And I believe that you have to be hanging in there, wearing your boots till the last day. And it's not about earning till the last day, but wearing your boots till the last day. Because I think it adds a dimension to your personality, a way different from saying it only adds to my bank balance. So on that note, I'm going to share screen and pull up my presentation today. Is it visible for all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So those are the three things that I try and do in life. One is, of course, my foundation, which is Hope Works. Her Disha is a new initiative that I run only to say the woman's choice is her choice. Let the others back off. I mean, nobody has any business in telling her what she needs to do. Okay. And her Disha obviously is a play on words, which means every direction is hers, by the way. Okay. It's not specific directions that the world has chosen to tell us is ours. On that note, I'm very proud to be sitting in front of you today and speaking, because who gets an audience in today's time and age when everybody is so busy, right? So, the first thing I want to talk to you about is, how do you look at your career? Work is about livelihood. What do? I work as whatever it could be. Very often, work is connected with a paycheck, and a paycheck is connected with livelihoods. Career to me is not about just that. Career is about the quality of life. So when I started out as a 23-year-old, getting off to work, of course I saw it as work. I thought it's a means to a paycheck, right? And the means to a paycheck meant, some quality of life. I saw my mother being a career woman all her life. And so I said, well, she had to work if they had to support three children. And, I had envisioned having a very large family. I ended up having one boy. Okay. But the truth was, I said, if I have to have that large a family, both of us need to work and we need to really be able to support. So when I started off, let me tell you, this idea that career is this long process of discovery was not in my head. It really was the means to the paycheck. And I had a qualification, I had a job, and hey presto, you started there, right? Of course, at the back of my mind was, when am I getting married, right? Because at that time the only thing that I was thinking about was, I have a job, and now I also had the person I wanted to marry. So now I had to get married, and life was complete. And what changed for me from that perspective was really, as I grew through the career, it moved from work leading to livelihood to career leading to quality of life. That's beautiful. So look at it from day one, whether you're restarting today or whether you're starting today to look at career. Do not see it as a mere means to a livelihood. See it as that blank check to a better quality of life. And to me, that's extremely important, dear friends. It's not just about financial safety, security. It's far more than that. I have changed as a person, so completely, not because of my bank balance, but because of the interactions I've had in the workplaces, because of the people I have met with, because of the many mentors who I have accidentally come, across. Not that we went and chose mentors, now we get the opportunity to do, but those are just mentors who walked into your life because you were lucky in so many ways. Believe me, you dear friends, the shades of your personality that develop because you hang in there adds to the richness of your life, not just to your bank balance. Bank balance is important. I always say that, but at the same time, look at career, because I think it's far more important than that. The second that I would like to shape your mindset as you restart is that we all keep thinking, what next? What next? I also believe you have to do what now. While we are future focused, saying, hey, you know what, I want to definitely build a house, I want to have this and that, etc., you cannot take away from the fact that you're expected to deliver today. Today, you have to deliver on what you have chosen. If that little girl is looking right at the top where she has to go and is not looking at where she needs to keep her foot on the first step, right? She's not going to be able to reach there very easily. So be present in the moment, perform to your best. Then you can look at what next. Because I think somewhere in that need for saying, where do I want to go? I sometimes forget how I need to invest and be present in the now. Be present in the now, because that leads you to that amazingly beautiful future. And I keep talking about this. Sometimes I think something far away looks far more beautiful than the struggles of today, or the learning curve of today, or of doing something that seems like monotonous, mundane, and boring. Believe me, you friends, The mundane and the magical happen with those people who hang in there. We just came out of this whole Olympics fever, and you saw every performer delivering phenomenal performances. And I looked at some of them. About 4 Olympics ago, they were nowhere in the list. They didn't even qualify. Somewhere 4 years later, they reached some spot. And now they are on the podium. So it takes about 10, 15 years to get to the podium. The podium finish is something that you should aspire for. But believe me, the first hurdle to cross is taking that first step. So stay in the now, perform in the now, keep looking at what is ahead, because I think that is the success mantra too that I would like to recommend for career endurance. The third one is, of course, Madhura is a bank, right, Madhura? So career is an asset. Just like we think we have to create movable and immovable assets, I believe career is an asset that you're creating, and you should have your own systematic investment plan for it. Very often I'm told by at least my relationship manager in the bank, Jacintha, all you have to do is park the money, put it there. The compounding will take care of the rest of it. Have you heard of this idea of career compounding? What do you need to do? You need to be in that space and in that place and in that race. You don't have to run as fast as everybody. You can choose your own race too. But what is that SIP, systematic investment plan, that you need to do? First is, are you learning? Are you learning every day? Are you learning something new? Your past experience cannot become the passport to that, infinitely beautiful future that you're thinking about. The second is, are you networking? And you have the guru of networking in this group, like Nirja. I mean, I don't know, she must be knowing more people than, many people can imagine in their lives. And I think she's done it so phenomenally well. The third I always talk is invest in relationships, build relationships at every workplace, because I can speak for myself, dear friends. I've gone through all types of avatars in my career, from being a HR professional working in organizations, to being an entrepreneur, to being a social entrepreneur today, to sometimes not knowing where I am today because you're wearing that many multiple hats. But what helps me sustain each one of these initiatives is not what I have, but who I can count on. I have to pick up the phone and say, you know what, I need a couple of laptops for my girls, and they will come. I have to pick up the phone and say, I need a space, and it will come. Do you know, last week, we had this amazing program for our girls who study as part of the HopeWorks program called Hope Citizen, in no less a place than a Leela Palace. And we didn't spend a penny. It's because you have a relationship going there, and you leverage that to ask for doing something far bigger than just enriching yourself. Going to Leela's, having dinner probably is aspirational for many of us. But for my girls, I know it was a mind shift exercise to say something like this exists in your city. And that's exactly what I went and asked for. I said, I want my children to see that difference that happens. And I can't afford it, by the way, I just can't afford it. And they were so gracious. They said, of course, bring it on, and we will provide you the facility. And I can tell you, it was such a heartwarming experience to just take my girls there. One of my mothers, who came from this little district called Mandya in Karnataka, calls me up the previous day and says, ma'am, with my sari, will they allow me? Because that invitation said palace. And to me, to make it possible for her to see her daughter on stage, you know what I did? I leveraged a relationship. And that relationship has been nurtured for about 10, 15 years. It's not that you're constantly calling up, talking to people, but you show up when they ask you something, or when you know something is going to benefit them, you pick up the phone and you say, hey, is this something that's going to help you? That's what I mean by saying invest in relationships. So networking is the breadth aspect. Investing in relationship is the depth aspect. You can't obviously have in-depth relationship with every person whom you network with. But if you don't have a network, you definitely can't build depth in relationships, my dear friends. So, it's called the T model. Have a large network of friends, have very deep relationships, put your roots down with people, because that's what holds you up whenever a storm comes, or whenever you want to walk into Leela's on a Sunday afternoon. The next thing that I want to talk about is, what is it when I mean by SIP? Be extraordinary in your effort. Everybody can be ordinary. Everybody can do what is expected. But I believe the one that you have to do is really looking at, how can I be extraordinary? They got to remember me. They got to think of me when they have that particular opportunity, or they have that particular effort to be put. They should say, hey, you know what? Call a Gurleen, call a Richa, call somebody, because she stands in my mind. And why are you top of the mind recall? Because you did something extraordinary, dear friends. So learn to be extraordinary, because all of us were, by the way, born to be extraordinary. Okay. Each one of us has something. The last one is create memories in people's minds, because that's what relationship is about. That when they recollect you, they don't recoil and say, oh my God, but they actually say, wow, you know what? She's someone I'd like to remember. I may not even have anything to talk to right away to her, but when I hear her name, or I see something about her on, say, LinkedIn, I feel good inside me. Create those memories. That's mantra 3. Career is an asset, dear friends. It is not an add-on in your portfolio. It's not just your profile. It's far more than that, because you can draw upon this asset at any time in your life. And I truly believe that's why you need to invest in this particular asset. The fourth one is really what I call, in order to do this systematic investment plan, where do you begin, right? What does this career endurance thing really demand of me? The first thing is self-care. Please remember that. Nobody can love yourself more than yourself, but I think all women do great disservice to this idea of taking care of yourself. And what do we mean by self-care? Physical, emotional, intellectual, financial, social. There are other dimensions to it. Please add to it. All of these, you need to have a routine. You need to have a checkbox. So I'm asking the audience today, sitting in this room, do you have a plan for your physical well-being, for your emotional sustenance, for your intellectual growth, for your financial safety, and for your social support? If you don't have these 5 in your self-care kitty, my friend, you will add the next S, and that's called stress. Do you know that? Most women leaders, in fact, I get invited to so many programs to conduct workshops, sometimes just talk to women, mentor, coach them. And very often I'm told, Jacintha, can you conduct this workshop on stress management? And I keep thinking, why is this stress management for women all the time? And I realized it's not because she can't manage the stress that life throws at her, but because she's not getting enough time to just take care of herself. And you don't take care of yourself, dear friend, then what are you going to be doing in the long run? You're going to be one very exhausted human being sitting there and saying, oh my God, where am I now? And then there's this search for sudden calling of passion, sudden discovery of, 2.0 of myself. And, 50 is the new 20, etc. Believe me, I'm 50. I don't feel like a 20. I'm happy to be a 50. Happy in the way I am and what I'm doing. Believe me, you on that. You don't need to do any new discovery brought about by this stress that you're unable to deal with, because you basically abandoned cardinal duty of taking care of yourself. And taking care of yourself doesn't mean putting yourself ahead of everyone else, because I don't think any person does that, least of all women. Okay. But at the same time, you're the only person who's going to be with yourself throughout. Have you even realized it? To be able to say, hey, I need to take care of my body. I need to be sure how my emotions are, going. Am I feeling good, or something's making me feel sad? Something's making me feel upset. Am I even dealing with it? Intellectually, am I growing? I mean, each one of us has very different kinds of needs, interests, desires. All of us have that need for intellectual growth in whichever area it could be. What am I doing about it? Of course, financial safety, my friends. In if you watch any of my videos and programs, I always talk about financial safety. You can't minimize it. You can't say somebody's going to take care of me. The last one is most certainly you have to have your social support. I was speaking to Ruchita day before yesterday when she called me and she said, Jess, what should we call this program? And I said, whatever comes your way, men, marriage, maternity, menopause, midlife crisis, any M's. Then of course you can add mother-in-law, I can add mother, you can add anything to it. It should not take away from the fact that you should take care of yourself. And your social support system cannot be merely determined by the milestones in your life, my friends. It has to be determined by this constant need for care. You have to have those people around you who will provide you that care. Do you have them? If you don't, go find them, nurture them, invest time in them, because I think without that it's very, very hard. So loving yourself is not this fuzzy thing up in the air. One day I treat myself to a spa. Believe me, that's luxury. Okay, what I want you to do is every day say, physically, do I have a routine to take care of myself? Do I eat healthy? Do I exercise even a wee bit? Second, am I taking care of my own emotional well-being? Third, am I in some ways nourishing my intellectual needs and drives? Because all of us have it. The fourth one is, financially, am I creating a little nest for myself? And the last one is, do I have that social backup plan for everything that I need? Maybe it's just somebody I want to pick up the phone and talk to today, right? I should be able to pick up and say, hey, Madhura, you know what? Nothing interesting, nothing happened to the world. Everything is in its place. Corona is still there. I just needed to talk to somebody. Do you have many people like that? And are you one of them who shows up in other people's recall from saying, she provides me social safety? Very, very important. The next one, when you start with self care, the next you have to invest in is really becoming aware of who you are. All of us, by the way, have all of these aspects of all the women that we have seen in our lives. We have the Sita and the Draupadi inside us. We have everyone. Okay, we are a nice, beautiful, complex creation. Sometimes it's very important to peel away these layers and see who we are, because it gives us that much more confidence to just embrace ourselves and own ourselves. The more you are aware of yourself, you don't need to get any validation, any likes, dislikes from anybody, anywhere in the world, because you're very aware of who you are. How do you improve on self awareness? Multiple ways, but I'd like to touch upon what I think works in the professional space. Always co opt your managers for conversations of who you are, what you like to do, what you're doing better, what can you do, and what are the things you definitely need to do better, which means you have to be far more feedback resilient than most women are. The second one is find people who can coach you. Coaches, when you see these sport coaches, they don't make you do the easy things, right? They're relentless. They make you do some. I was just looking at, Neeraj, who won the javelin. My God, the exercises he does. Um, I would have run away if some coach told me you have to do these things every day. Even if I had the ambition to go to the Olympics, which I never did. But look at what the coach makes you do. They make you go through the rough hoops in life and making you realize what it takes. Eventually, you might get the gold medal, or you may not, but you're better off for having built that drill in your life. Find your mentors. The mentors and coaches and teachers and trainers and counselors, you know what? They're all not one and the same. They all have very different roles to play. In another workshop on another day, I can explain the differences on all of these things. But find a mentor. Find a mentor, whether it's in your domain, whether it's in your career conversations, whether it is in your life, whether it's on a day when you're feeling bad. Find a mentor who you can talk to. Definitely go and seek counseling support. There are many moments in life when I think you're saying, I should have been given a better set of cards than the one that I've been dealt with, right? Bingo. Go and ask your counselor why you're feeling like that and how you could get out of it. Believe me, you, my friends, very often we consider our friends to be our manager, coach, mentor, counselor, trainer, da. And we think talking to them over maybe a coffee or a lunch is going to help us. No, it only helps us vent out. It may not necessarily help us find solutions. Solutions are built by people who are trained to provide you, search for those solutions, guide you in that direction. So, the first thing you need to do for becoming self aware is build this circle of network for yourself, and it has to be a fairly close network. The next one that I want to talk to you is really you have self care. Because if you don't have self care, believe me, you, my friends, everything else can fall apart very quickly. On top of that pyramid, you build something called as self awareness. I'm taking care of myself and I'm in good shape physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. I'm not heading towards a breakdown. I'm not, even if life throws nasty surprises at me, I still believe I can survive. It's a very, very, and do we know about nasty surprises? Because we've all gone through it during COVID. Believe me, you, on that. Okay. The second one is being self aware. I know what I'm good at. I know what I can't do very well. I know what I have to improve on, and I have people who can help me get there. What comes next in career endurance journey? The next one is you have to motivate yourself. There's just nobody else out there who can do this for you. Create your own routine, even if it means standing and speaking in front of the mirror for 5 minutes because I definitely want to improve on my communication skills. Well, do it. Just go ahead and do it. The second thing, and so I want to ask the audience sitting, and this is why I'm asking so many questions. If you don't have these things, dear friends, you're not working towards career endurance, you're working towards having a job. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. Be very clear, you're a job holder, not a career woman. The next thing is pick up when down. We're all going to go through this, right? There are going to be ups, there are going to be downs, and lots of in betweens. A truly motivated person says, okay, today's a bad day. Okay, a few bad days, maybe a few bad months. Just walk forward. You can't be there and wondering why you're there. And the person who can help you make that first step, honestly, is just yourself. One of my girls last year came to ask for scholarship. And she said, she looked very tired. I said, where have you come from? She had come from one of the villages in, surrounding Bangalore. And I said, you look very tired. Have you eaten? She says, no, ma'am. I had just enough money for bus. That too, no, ma'am. I sold the grocery bag they gave us, ma'am, for corona relief. You know what's her family background? Lost her father when she was very young. Her mother is a farm laborer. Her brother studies in what is called as an orphanage in Bangalore. Another sister stays with another relative who's offered to support at least one child, studies somewhere else. And this child studies in an evening college, works during the day to support herself. But when I told her, okay, so we are going to the Leelas, what do you want to do? She says, ma'am, I want to dance. Pick up, dance your way through it. It's not like all of us have, a good deck of cards to choose to dance. You can choose to dance, even if you're a person who had to sell a bag of groceries meant to sustain your family as charity in order to say, I have a dream, and that dream can be supported only if I get a scholarship. And for that, I can remain a little hungry. I shall move on. And the day I'm given a stage, I'm not going to be thinking about, did I sell the grocery? Did I do this? Instead, I'm going to see the stage and I'm going to go there and dance. The next one is celebrate your own success. I don't know how many of you will tell yourself, what a great job you did today. I think we want to shy away from the spotlight and say, oh, it's not because of that, and all of that stuff. I think owning your success, I think, is so important. Why do I talk of these things? Because the day when you're down and you want to motivate yourself, think of the day when you had an audience rooting for you. The day you're feeling down, think of that big success story that you accomplished. The day you're feeling down that your grown up children no longer acknowledge you, think of the times when they were really small and they couldn't do without you. Find your own pick me up routines and move forward, dear friends, because that's the only way to keep yourself motivated. The next one that I would want you to focus on is you have to have a development mantra. Now, this is brass tacks. Identify the skills needed for today's job, tomorrow's job, next decade's job. What's the knowledge? What's the skill? What's the attitude? What's the behavior? And I'm going to go slightly away and show one particular slide here. This is the latest that has come in terms of, 56 foundational skills put out by McKinsey. And it talks of 4 clusters: cognitive, interpersonal, self-leadership, and digital leadership. Believe me, you, my friends, when you look through many of these things, a lot of what we have spoken is hidden in some of these things, and some of them are not. But let me tell you, I think this is a very comprehensive way to look at what do I need to develop on? I don't know. What do I need to develop on? Well, you know what? Here it is. You have to do all of these things. Can you believe 3 out of 4 is about what people used to call soft skills? Today, I'm saying they are your life skills. You thrive because you have all of them. And so, dear friends, work towards it. Development is not something that happens on a day or because of a certification or because you've joined a Udemy course. They add. And over a period of time, you develop to become the kind of professional that you've always wanted to be. The next layer on top of self development is being self directed, which means I move. I move in the direction that I choose, which means I negotiate, right? I don't want to get married right now, negotiate. I want to get married now, negotiate. I don't want to become a mother right away, negotiate. I want to get back to work, negotiate. I want to take a break because I'm stressed, negotiate. Well, dear friends, self direction begins with being able to say, what do I want? And am I able to negotiate about it with the people that I need to? The second one is once you negotiate, make that firm decision. Hey, I've got everybody else on board. Now, am I on board or am I still having a lot of doubt saying, oh my God, what if I fail? What will these people say, etc., etc.? No, it doesn't matter. The third one is once you make that decision, make the choice. Choose, take your first steps. You could be a woman who's taken a career break. You could be a woman who's saying, you know what, I really needed this break and now I want to get back to work. You've made the choice. Fabulous. Go back, negotiate with everyone what you want to do, why you want to do, and how you're going to make it work and how they're supposed to support you. Make your choice about the company, about the career track, about whatever you want to do. I'm shifting tracks. I'm going to be doing something else. Well, the choice is yours, my dear friend. Then comes, of course, once you do all of these things, you have to do this job of influencing people to constantly believe in your dream. Not that they have to give you license to dream, but when you come back, share your success stories. Don't come back and say, oh, my manager, you know what, I don't know why I went back to work. Then they'll say quickly, leave now, sit down at home. Why are you doing all this? We have enough is what I hear very many people being told. We have enough. You don't need to work. I'm saying even if you don't have enough or if you have overwhelmingly enough, you still need to go out there because I think it's part of who you are. The last one, dear friends, is stay the course. There are going to be many things that will come, which will definitely put some kind of barriers. Stay the course. In fact, if you really look at, some people who've probably been there, done that for 20, 30 years, it's not like one straight line trajectory going up or any which ways. I think it's multiple things that happen to you. And in today's world, believe me, it's going to be multiple influences, multiple changes, and we need to be able to respond to all of them with grit, grace, and obviously a lot of gumption. And that requires just staying put. Just staying put. Imagine after one Olympic try, the person said, yeah, 4 years I tried and then I went to Olympics. I didn't even make it into the top 10. Now I give up. Would she have finished on that podium? No, she wouldn't have. You do the podium finish after 4 tries at the Olympics, which means 4 into 4 years, which means 16 years you've stayed the course. And maybe you will reach the podium. Believe me, my friends, staying the course is the toughest. It's so easy to go off, it's just move away into something else. Staying put, just building those layers of experiences on you makes you indeed very special. The next one that I want to talk to you about is really, being reliant on whom? Fundamentally on yourself. First and foremost, be your own cheerleader, tap your back and say, hey, you know what? Great job done. Hey, you know what? Today, not such a great job done, but look at all the history of great jobs done. Yeah, today was a bad day. It's okay. Move ahead. Learn to build your own cheering capabilities for who you are and what you do. The second is nobody backs you up as well as only you can do it yourself. So you have these big dreams, you have these wonderful ideas. Who has to first tell you, go ahead? You have to give yourself that permission, because others can only tell you, I think you're very good at this. Maybe you should try it. But the person who has to really say, I know, I will try, and I'm sure I'll succeed. If I don't succeed, I've learned a lesson, I will move ahead, is really just you. There's nobody else who's going to come and say, I'll back you up all the way. Believe me, you on that. The next is train yourself to believe that you are more than enough for what you want to accomplish. You can obviously lean in and learn from others. You can ask them, you can get their experiences, you can share your cup of woe with them, perfectly understandable. But your greatest cheerleader, the one who backs yourself up and the one who tells you you're more than enough for what you have to accomplish in life, is just yourself. So first thing, one of the first sessions one of India's premier trainers did for my girls is, what do you talk to yourself? When I told him I want you to do a workshop on communication skills, he said, I'll take 3 days and I'll come back to you on what the topic is. I said, okay. So I thought he's going to say presentation skills, da 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 da. He says, no, they are young girls from what we consider financially under-resourced backgrounds. Jacintha, for them, this must be such a difficult journey. I want to tell them about what they should talk to themselves. So my question to you today is, what do you talk to yourself? Do you cheer yourself up? Do you give yourself some license to dream and some leeway to fail? Do you ask yourself and tell yourself, hey, you know what? You're good, yaar. Go ahead. Some things will work, some things will not, but that's true for everyone. And the last part is, when it's not working very well, don't say, main janti thi, main itti buddhu hoon, oh, I knew I'm no good for this. My mummy used to always tell me I'm pretty bad at this. No, you have to tell yourself that it's okay to move ahead. Be your own cheerleader, guys. Get the pom-poms out like in the cricket match and tell yourself that you're doing a good job when you do a good job. The last mantra that I want to tell you is, you got to learn to change. I see so many people just stuck in who they are, refusing to evolve from there, or stuck in their past, or stuck somewhere. I'm saying get unstuck. Get unstuck, whatever it could be. It could be a mind issue which says, I don't think I can think beyond this. It could be something else. Believe me, my friends. And how do you do that? 2 tips. Be curious about everything in front of you. Be curious. I always find this. When we go, we're so judgmental about food, right? We go to a restaurant, the first thing we do is, either it's great or it's bad. Even before you say it's bad, because your palate doesn't take it well, right? Figure out why they cook it the way they cook it. Why someone uses mustard oil versus Kerala uses coconut oil versus somebody uses some other oil. Because that curiosity will make you appreciate the perspective with which something as simple as how food is cooked. And believe me, the day you become curious and ask, you become so much more capable of change. Then you will say, hey, when I go to Bengal, I'm going to expect mustard oil. There's a reason, there's a purpose behind why they use it. When I go to Kerala, I'm going to do coconut oil with relish. It may not be my palate, but you know what? I know why they are doing it, and therefore I'm readily capable of appreciating it. I may not say I immediately, take to it like a fish to water, but I'm not going to be judgmental about it. The second is really the agility to change. It takes plenty, dear friends, to change. It's far easier said than done. But believe me, the day you say to yourself, hey, I need to get unstuck from wherever I'm stuck and I need to move, you'll find it difficult. You will have a few scars, but you will move ahead. So, curiosity is the currency of the future. You don't have curiosity, you're going to be stuck in your past. You're going to be stuck in your ways. You're going to be stuck in saying, whatever I do is the only way forward, and there is really nothing else. Imagine COVID has told us you got to change everything, yeah, including the way you work, wearing masks at home, not being able to do the simple things that you and I did, not able to trust the air we breathe. Now, if you don't know how to change now, what can we say? And on that note, these are not my secrets, by the way, they are yours. The secret sauce to having an enduring career are not just these 10 principles or crucibles, as I call it, but I think it's really about figuring out, being comfortable, being who you are. The second thing is really believing in your possibility, believing in your potential. Because the minute you do that, whether it's the restart journey, whether it is the start journey, whether it is shift gear and move in a completely different direction journey, all of it is possible because you're not sitting there and saying, you know what, somebody has to nudge me, push me, make me do this. And that's when I'm going to become successful. On that note, thank you so much. I hope you have a very enduring career. Like I said at the beginning, you got to be wearing your boots on the last day, my friends, whatever those boots could be. I met a very dear friend, and he was talking about he said, you know what, Jess, I'm so impressed with my grandmother. Most of us are very impressed with our grandmothers, right? I remember a friend of mine telling me, my God, if I knew grandchildren were so exciting to live with, I would have skipped having children. I would have straight away gone to having grandchildren. Okay. So I know we all love having grandparents, right? And he said, she's so happy. And I was like, okay, now that's a nugget. Why? He says every year she chooses to make one gift. She's very good at stitching. So she stitches one gift for whoever has the biggest celebration in the family that year. It's a 1 year project. Every year and every day, she'll sit down about an hour or two stitching, cross stitch, crochet, embroidery, etc., and make either a bedspread or a tablecloth or something. And she would gift it to them. And I said, now that's a career woman for you. She's gifting. She's not earning anything out of it. But you know what she's getting out of it? She's getting her routine. She knows what she's doing is valued. It's making her stay focused on what she has to do. Instead of saying, oh my God, all my children, all my grandchildren, everybody's gone. What do I do now? Etc. She knows that every year she has a gift to work towards. I'm asking you, do you look at every year and say, what's the gift I have to give myself? And what do I have to work towards? On that note, thank you very much for having me here. And I'll stop sharing now and I'll take any questions if there are.
ma'am. I'm really astonished by this session. And this actually made me think over some of my own values actually over there.
Thank you.
Guys, yeah, if you have any questions, please come up with them. I know ma'am's session was so amazing.
Jacintha, I have a request. Sorry, I just joined in the middle. Could you just share what was the success mantra first? Because when I joined, it was already on success mantra 2.
Okay, you got to read my book, all right? Okay. I was just kidding. The first one was, how do you view work and career? Work is a means to a paycheck, and therefore livelihood is my belief. Okay, everybody has to do some work, unless you can just sit and somebody is going to be taking care of yourself. But career is not just a means to a paycheck. I think it's a means to having a great quality of life, because it might add something to your bank, and I'm very happy that it does for many of us. How much, how little, equal, not equal, well, they're all bigger battles to fight. But I'm saying, is it life or is it livelihood? If it's livelihood, please remember, I am treating this like work. I have to go finish this so that I get a check at the end of it. But if you're treating it like a career, remember, no hanging the boots by the end of the whatever, then you're saying there's no retirement for careers, my friends. There's no retirement. You will keep moving. You will keep figuring out newer ways of engaging your talent in something that is definitely worthy. And to me, that is a career, right?
Perfect.
So that was principle number one. I don't know what else you missed, but I can share the presentation if you want. Definitely will do that, and you can take it forward from there. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. If you would share that presentation, it would be amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Will do. Will do. No worries on that at all. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Now we are moving towards the end of the session. I would just like to put up a small quote over here. It's a quote by Lord Krishna. He said, "Don't worry about your existence. If I have given you this life, that means I must have thought you for a reason behind it. Thought of you for a reason behind it." On this note, I would like to invite Ruchita Tandon ma'am for the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please take up the mic.
Good evening, and thank you so much, Kanak. I know this is Kanak's first session and she's been rockingly very good. And sorry, I missed the starting part, couldn't help. I had to make an appointment. But Jacintha, your sessions have been always very good, very engaging. And I have to definitely share over here that when I talked to Jacintha 3 days back, I said, instead of care, can we make it carefree so that we can have sessions so that, we don't lose you very soon. But I'm sure just like how each of your sessions have made me think, affected me, and made me think again, rethink again. I'm sure each one of us has been benefited here. And I hope you have also enjoyed in the same way as we have enjoyed. We will definitely get back with some other session with you, but we are really going to miss this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Good luck. Onwards, upwards, always.
Thank you so much, Jacintha. Really, really appreciate your time with this cohort and with everything else in Aspire for Her. We will miss these care sessions. So seriously, I think Nirja is also expressing the same emotions somewhere else. But we would love to, we'd love to keep bringing you back to this forum, to this platform in various different ways with the nuggets of wisdom that you bring. So thank you so much for always energizing us, motivating us. Thank you.
Thank you very
Ma'am,
much.
can I ask you something? Where do we get to see the presentation, please?
I'll forward it to Ruchita, and I'm sure she'll share it in the community. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
I think also what Gurleen, just correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be on YouTube also. So you can definitely pick the recording, and you've gone through it, right, Jacintha?
Yes, yes.
So we will be putting that in our Telegram group. We'll put up the links for the YouTube. And if people need anything beyond that, we'll come back to you. Otherwise, I think it covers everything.
Thank you so much, Ruchita. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ma'am.
Hope this session was amazing eye-opener for everyone over here. It was one for me, I can guarantee that, ma'am. So at AFH, we take an impact very seriously. So as we all had a expectation form in the start, so moving ahead with that on the similar lines, we also have a feedback form for all of you over there. So do let us know your expectations and the feedback that you had over there. It would be really great to listen from everyone in the community and have a better ones to come up with again. Thank you everyone for this amazing session.
Thank you, everyone.